Hello, hello! Perfidious Pete here, with another round of exacting exploration and terrifying triumph down in the wandering warrens and rapacious ruins of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. And our seekers have their work cut out for them today and no time to dilly-dally, because the 70th annual Perfidious Estate Barbecue Pitmasters competition is right around the corner, and thanks to some careless storage from the caretaker, our entire stockpile of delicious pork has gone rotten. Now, really, we shouldn't probably be too terribly surprised about the caretaker's incompetence, given the fact that he spends the majority of his time and our money drinking and whoring, but this particular oversight really is quite a problem. I mean, how is it that Sir Roderick Usher is supposed to defend his title of Pitmaster Extraordinaire if we have no sweet, sweet baby back ribs for him to prepare? And how is Barbecue Master Brienne of Tarth supposed to mount any kind of challenge to Sir Roderick's title without a delicious pork loin to hickory smoke until it's so tender that it literally melts in your mouth? How? How, I ask you? Well, since all of our previous encounters with the swine-oriented sort from down in the Warrens have been wasted thanks to the caretaker, there's really only one thing for us to do, and that's to head down into the old dungeon, take a swing at the swine god, carve ourselves off a few pounds of flesh, and haul that delicious flesh back to the manor, slap some barbecue sauce on it, pitch it over some supreme fire, hickory smoke that shit, and get it tasting sweet and savory. So let's do it. We do have a mission here, of course, to kill the swine god, and we are going to take him down. We are going to be taking our elite team, and this bandana, I'd like to point out, we're kind of copacetic that we need to kill the swine god for both the Barbecue Pitmasters competition and the fact that it has a fantastic arbalest-only trinket that's real good. The penalty to heal skills is not fantastic, but mostly with the healing skills, you're looking for the buff off of the arbalest, or not so much the aggregate healing. So really, it's not that big of a problem. The penalty to heal received is a little unfortunate, but given that the arbalest is most frequently in rank 4, shouldn't be a terrifying deal breaker. So we're gonna go for this, and there's gonna be a little bit of sweet, sweet hot pork in our very near future. So let's put a team together, and since we're going for the swine god, we're pulling out all the stops, folks. It's the A-team. They're going in, and they're going in A-team style. I mean, we might take Mr. T, Howling Mad, Face Man. Those guys are going in. So we got a focus ring on Half-Cocked Jack, along with this Gunslinger's Buckle, which is freaking amazing. I'm kind of beginning to wonder if actually the accuracy really is the best thing. I mean, he has huge accuracy. This is never going to miss. You know what? I kind of like that. An extra 15% crit, huge damage. We are going to get rid of Open Vein, of course. There's no need to bring that back with Pistol Shot, Point Blank Shot, Grape Shot Blast, and Duelist Advance. We can do all the range damage we want and still have Duelist Advance in case we need to move party and to help us, of course, lodge Point Blank Shots. Now, his Duelist Advance damage is going to be kind of shitty, but it's not really why we keep it anyway. It's more for the movement base. So we've got Half-Cocked Jack Sword. Let's take a look at old Roderick the Fortress Usher. Looking very strong here. I have no doubt that Roderick is going to be ready and able to defend his title of Pitmaster Extraordinaire. He's going to carve himself a nice, sweet shank of those delicious baby back ribs. I tell you what, they're so good. They're so good. Oh, Brienne, sure. I mean, her pork loin, it melts in your mouth. But Roderick Usher, those baby back ribs, they don't just melt. They effervesce in your mouth. They really are the most delicious thing you could ever taste. I don't think Brienne's chances are strong vying for the title, but she does deserve a chance, damn it. Trinkets are good for Randolph Carter, and as an Elder Abomination himself, I have no fear that Randall will come through things just fine. Some stress healing, and yeah, okay, Sacred Skull, Tome of Holy Healing, Medline Usher. Looking like everybody's pretty good. Let's just double check our camping skills very quickly. You know what? Roderick Usher actually does need to go see the Survivalist. So, in the interest of having the best possible opportunity, let's head up to the Survivalist very quickly. We'll throw old Roderick Usher in here, and I think we're going to probably grab Zealous Vigil. Yeah, Zealous Vigil is the shit. So we'll slap an old Zealous Vigil on Roderick. And with that taken care of then, it's down into the dungeon. Let's go find ourselves a big pig and make some bacon. Oh yeah. Normally, making bacon with a pig kind of has other less fortunate connotations, but in this case, we're actually literally going to make him into bacon, so I think it'll be alright. Not going to have sex with the swine god. Just seems dangerous. He's awfully big, and, you know, once you get over the top of you like that, he could literally crush you with his mass at pretty much any anytime. Also, he's a giant, horrible pig monster, and we're not really attracted to him. I mean, it's nothing against the giant, horrible pig monster. I just gotta say, you're not my type, pal. I'm sorry. Just, I don't really swing that way. I'm not into bestiality. 1, 2, I don't find you exceptionally attractive. I'm just, not feeling it. I'm sorry, we have no chemistry, swine god. No chemistry.
Was brutish and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, it required prodigious amounts of meat to sustain itself.
Well, he should be well fattened up, sort of like Gretel and Hansel. He should be well bulky for our needs. I think the barbecue pitmaster competition is going to be fantastic. Also, the extra fat in his tissues really is going to make him pretty well marbled. So as long as we can bring him down, I kind of like our opportunities for a solid outcome. So he has to be here. Or, no, he has to be in this location. All right, so we're going to make a direct beeline straight for the swine god then. No fooling about. This is going to be a precision execution. We need this meat. We need it fast. We got to get in and get out and get home with the delicious pork products. And so we got a map. This is going to give us some fast scouting. That's good. I'm actually kind of interested in avoiding fights on the way to Mr. Pig Monster. So in the interest of doing that, we will take the path of least resistance. Just pretend we're a bolt of electricity flowing to ground via the path of least resistance, as electricity is wont to do. Randolph Carter, all about the path of least resistance. And speaking of this unburned torch, let's just go ahead and burn it. Get rid of those. That'll be good. Alright. Randolph Carter, of course, going to use some of his occultist magic to pull some loot out of this pack. I'm telling you, every single object is like a fucking magician's hat. When Randolph Carter pulls his hand in there, you have no idea what he's going to pull out. You just know it's going to be fucking fantastic. Could be a dove, could be a rabbit, could be a fucking fantastically beautiful assistant for his next upcoming trick. You never know what he's pulling out of that hat. You just know it's going to be awesome. We don't really need to heal here, so let's... oh, that was beautiful. Madeline Usher coming out with the big critical right from the start. Alright, large flesh eater. What do you got here? A little bit of mark for me? That's fine. You can't weaken Roderick Usher. The man is a goddamn fortress. He cannot be weakened. He will not be weakened. He cannot be weakened. He is impregnable. Mostly because he's a dude. You can't really impregnate him because he's a dude, but still... He's otherwise also untouchable. I think we should probably mark this Flesh Eater. It's proving surprisingly resistant to damage. So we're going to mark on him. I think we'll go for the Grape Shot Blast here. 21 aggregate damage is pretty solid. That's got half of our little stress-causing friend in the background there. Ma'am, excuse me, are you unaware that we are on a quest for pork here? I think you should probably perhaps step aside. We don't necessarily want to hurt you, but in our quest for pork, we have to say, I'm pretty zealous about my barbecue, ma'am, and if you get between me and a delicious barbecue buffet, unpleasantness is gonna ensue. I mean, you've been fairly warned. You don't come between a fat man and his delicious barbecue. That's just a terrible idea, miss. A terrible idea. You should really reconsider your position, ma'am. So we're gonna Tentacle Devour Roderick Usher. That actually hurt a little bit. We'll put up a big heal at old Roderick. No, we won't, because this fight is over. Half-cocked Jack with a thunderous Grape Shot Blast to end the day. You are not that good. The Ruby, I'm quite fond of. So let's put you here. We're going to switch you back here. Party is back in order. We will pick up a little bit of food right here. Speaking of pork products, we'll check out this makeshift dining table. Take home some free pork right here. But really, this is more like pork samplers. It's really... I mean, sure, it's there, it's free, it technically is food, but this is just gonna whet our appetite right here. This is like those tiny little summer sausages you grab at the grocery store, skewered onto the end of a toothpick. It's not really gonna sate your hunger, but it is gonna give you an intense craving. And I have to say, Mr. Giant Swine God Pig Monster, probably not the smartest thing you've ever done is to encourage us to be more desirous of eating your flesh. I mean, we're coming gunning for you. You don't really want to, like, leave a trail of fucking breadcrumbs that lead us right to you and let us know that, one, you are at home, two, you are fucking delicious.
A blazing star is born.
It's just a bad idea, man. I mean, it's gonna get you... Well, it's gonna get you... you know what? Actually, let's go back in here. The Swine God is right here, and although we do have 0 stress, I want to go into this fight as buff as possible. So we're gonna go ahead... No stress at all for anybody, and we're going to take an opportunity to throw every single buff we can get our hands on. Chief amongst those, of course, is going to be Clean Guns. Clean Guns, freaking amazing. Zealous Vigil is real good. Takes a lot of time, but it is real good. You have Abandoned Hope, which we don't want. You know, +5 speed was not terrible for Roderick Usher. We should have a Blessing, do we not? We do. We don't need to bless Half-Cock Jack. We really don't. I think he's going to be more than adequately blessed. Let's put that dodge buff on Roderick Usher. What else do we want to do? We don't really need stress relief. Do we have anything that buffs our damage? We could... let's Unspeakable Commune. That's fine. We can buff some speed. Anything else we want to do? I say, yeah, let's go ahead and Zealous Vigil as well. Give Roderick Usher some additional accuracy. And that's probably going to be it. Yeah, so our buffs, we do have some, but they're not exactly fantastically impressive. I mean, it's not like we had 2 Men-at-Arms buffing us or anything. Still, going into the fight fully healed with 0 stress, and all of the advantages we can get does seem like a smart maneuver for us. So let's do this, Swine God, you and your little pal Wilbur. By the way, Wilbur, yeah, it's not going to be good. We're turning Wilbur over to old Rick Deckard, and Deckard is going to make some suckling pig. He's a new entrant into the Pitmasters barbecue competition this year, and he's a newcomer, but I tell you, he's got a lot of fantastic recipes, does some really, really, really interesting things with ham hocks and soups. I'm telling you, he's a contender. He's a contender right now, assuming we can get the Swine God home and turn him into soup, that is. So 277 hit points is what we got to chew through. Get a bit of squeal there for Half-Cock Jack. And we got a mark for the old Madeline Usher. All right. Not a terribly difficult start. We're, of course, going to start this off with a mark on a Swine God. We want bonus to hit, bonus damage. The debuff certainly doesn't hurt any. And 34 damage from Half-Cock Jack is a very, very strong start. We're going for the damage here, but mostly also for the heal. We want to make sure that Madeline Usher is fully topped up and as uninjured as she can get. A solid 17 damage from Sir Roderick. You can obliterate body on Roderick Usher, and he just does not give a single fuck. That was a critical from the Swine God, and it didn't even take a third of Roderick Usher's health. He's just going to stand there and laugh at you hysterically at your big, giant, monstrous, towering cleaver. I mean, it seems like a pretty irrational thing to do, to laugh at something that's so dangerous looking, but Roderick Usher, he doesn't care. He knows that he is indestructible, and he has nothing to fear. Roderick Usher is so fearless, he doesn't even fear fear itself. So think about that for a moment. A man who doesn't fear fear itself? That's pretty damn impressive, to not fear fear itself. Our damage also somewhat less impressive on this one, I have to admit. 16 and 13, that's a little bit more than we would like to see Half-Cock Jack take, but it's not more than we can handle. So we're doing okay now. Oh, that's not good at all. The double stun is actually very unfortunate. We needed some healing out of either one or both of those guys. That is not going to go well for us. We got to get to point blank shot in. Half-Cock Jack is actually in a pretty precarious hole. The critical certainly did not help at all. So we have got to get a heal on Half-Cock Jack. On the plus side, neither of our healers is stunned at the moment. So we do have that advantage. We gotta just keep pounding away. Keep whacking the Swine God. We just gotta keep working the problem. His problem? He still has health. That's the problem. Bit of squeal. Do not stun. Do not you son of a... Alright. This is bad. This is very bad. We have got to win a speed... Okay, we gotta get a heal on Half-Cock Jack. This is a band-aid at best, because he's gonna get hit again by the Swine God, and that is not good at all. Really wishing I had a Man-at-Arms at the moment so we could... A little wild flailing. Okay, good. Alright, so he effectively wasted his turn. And there's the Half-Cock Jack we've come to know and love. 73 damage point blank shot. When the chips are down, Half-Cock Jack brings the friggin' hurt. These stuns, how... Ugh, we have to have so much stun resistance at the moment. Alright, we are going to be able to get a heal. Weird Reconstruction, a 4-point critical was not necessarily what we needed out of you right there, Randolph Carter. Probably could have used perhaps a little bit more in the heal department. I'm not ashamed to admit that was definitely substandard. 8 damage for old Randy with the Obliterate body. The Swine God kind of wasting his turn there. Here comes a little bit of squeal. Honestly, at this point, I would rather have Randolph Carter throwing heals than I would have Madeline Usher throwing heals, because Randy can do the 4-point critical, which is enough to get us off death's door, but also he has a chance to do that right there, which is a big heal, which may be enough of a heal to keep us off of death's door. And in fact, it was just enough. Another point-blank shot. 29 damage from Half-Cock Jack, and Mr. Swine God here is not looking too terribly healthy. He's down to 16 health. That basically puts him 1 hit from dead. Either one of our, pretty much any one of our troopers actually right now could bring him down. Any one of our Seekers, Randolph Carter could easily slit his throat. Half-Cock Jack will have no trouble ending him. Randolph, of course, the mighty swing of the sword would certainly slice some of those sweet baby back ribs free. I'm actually going to go for a grape shot blast here. I was actually hoping we might also hit Wilbur with that, but we did not. So let's get 11 damage on Wilbur, and our little friend here is about to be suckling swine for our bounty hunter friend. Rick Deckard is going to be cooking your ass up, Wilbur. You're going to have a nice little apple in your mouth, and we're going to rub your skin with a little bit of garlic and butter, and then he's going to spit you. And not the way, you know, I mean, you're going to get spit roasted, but not in the colloquial spit roasting. I mean, an actual spit roast. And then we're going to put you down over like a low-banked hickory wood fire, and we're going to just slow roast and slowly turn you rotisserie style. Let your skin get crispy and delicious as your juices drip down, further flavoring the wood. You're going to be so fucking fantastic, Wilbur. You have no idea how delicious you're going to be. Really, no idea. Which is good, because our entire friggin' team is stunned. Wilbur actually isn't going down without a fight here. I mean, he knows he's doomed, but you gotta give the little guy credit for bravery. He's really trying to make a match out of it. He's putting up a bit of a fight. Look at this, squealing all over. Finally, we've gotten to the point where our stun resistance has reached a level where we're largely bumping most of these stuns just because we're getting the stun resistance buff. And that's it for Wilbur. And it's pork all around now, folks. We have access to as much delicious pork as we want, and I have to admit, I'm more than a little disappointed in the payout. More than a little. Alright, so we have... You know what? We spent quite a bit of money here. I think we should probably patch everyone up as best we can. And continue doing a bit of adventuring here to see if maybe we can bring home a little extra cash. Big supply of pork to swine god. I mean, he's basically the Hogzilla of swine, but still, we could use some smaller, more delicious delectables for some of our lesser dishes. I mean, I know that Katniss Everdeen was looking forward to trying out a recipe for pork pies, and I mean, it's kind of a British infusion sort of thing, and we're interested to see what kind of flavor styling she might bring to the mix. So we're going to do a little more investigating. Now, Insatiable Ghoul, if you wouldn't mind, sir, I'd like to point out, you are not made of pork, and therefore are largely useless for our barbecuing endeavors. If you wouldn't mind just going straight to hell, I think everyone would be a little bit happier. This stress is a bit unfortunate, as another reason why I don't want to fight the ghoul, because that means these troopers are going to have to probably be down for stress relief since we have already camped. We will undo the damage from that howl. Again, the stress really is the more important and dangerous part. Half-cocked Jack picking up a kill, though. 15 damage from Roderick Usher's solid output. You know, we'd probably be best off to go for the mark here, give everybody else additional damage, and the debuff on the ghoul is certainly not going to suck any either. He's still connected and still did a 13 stress attack to Randolph Carter and a not unreasonable amount of damage also. That one stung a little bit. Randolph Carter's not ashamed to admit it. When you catch him with a good solid shot, you know, he's going to give you credit. He'll say, hey, that's a good one, pal. You got me good. Nice shot, man. Nice shot. He's basically, oh, what was the name of that band? Fuel? Hey, man, nice shot. Don't remember the name of the band that sang. I think it was Fuel. He'll say, you know, hey, man, nice shot. Nice shot, man. That's why they say, hey, man, nice shot. Good shot, man. Hey, man, nice gun. Speaking of nice gun, half-cocked Jack with a strong finish there. A lot of crests. We should probably pick these up. Let's burn a couple torches, and we want this crest. We should probably start ditching some stuff as well. We don't need busts, so let's grab these crests. We'll take the gold, the portraits we can throw on the floor. We have no use for those, and let's continue on our merry way. The quest for pork, folks. It is never ending, and it does continue. We needs the meat. I mean, basically, we're like Arby's, except without the poisonous taste. We bring the meat. Actually, I can't remember if that's the Arby's logo or Arby's. The new Arby's motto I know has something to do with the word meat. It has the word meat in it. We bring the meat, maybe? I can't remember. Also, it's Arby's. Don't eat there. Bad for you. Also, the food is terrible. Just avoid it. So let's put a nice big heal here on Madeline Usher. And Madeline Usher will agree with us on the need to avoid Arby's at all costs in all locations. 18 damage from a point-blank shot from Half-Cocked Jack. A little bit of dodge for Roderick Usher. Surprising. Roderick Usher has significant penalties to his dodge, of course, thanks to his tough rings that make him indestructible. While they do provide the indestructibility, they definitely don't really help him out in the whole getting out of the way of blows category. 7 damage for half cock jack, not really a problem. Here comes a Ren for the old gods. Alright, so starting to pile up a bit now. Let's do a little bit of weird reconstruction. And Elf Carter's gonna undo all of that damage. Drums of Doom, stress attack. Delightful. We're really, you know what, at this point the stress doesn't matter. Unless we get over 100, it's pretty much irrelevant. We're going in for stress relief anyway, and with all of our upgrades, we can basically get rid of 100 stress at pretty much any location, so... The stress is admittedly a problem simply because it's costing us money, but that's why we're doing this in the first place, is to get additional funds. We should be just fine, end of the day. Ooh, that is a terrible, terrible trinket. I mean, it's really not good. We'll eat the food. We could use the bandage. I would prefer the sapphire. This thing is really bad. Do I have anything I would throw on the ground in favor of taking that back? Theoretically, one of these trinkets would be better discarded since this one's going to be worth more cash. We could also just throw the key down, though. That's fine. We're in this for the cash. We don't want to be wasting anything that actually has a cash value if we can avoid it, so... Let's continue on. Randolph Carter, still going to be doing our exploration. Of course, the occultist luck, still in full effect. Nothing here. Alright, let's head up to this room. We can always swing over here if we want to. We know there's going to be a fight in there and likely treasure. I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of scouting in this next room, just so we could kind of get an idea what lies in this area. I mean, I'm assuming it's Michelle Pfeiffer and possibly Harrison Ford. If you know what lies beneath, you know it's Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford. It's actually all a sort of creepy ploy by Harrison Ford to make his wife think she's insane. And I'm sorry if I just spoiled the plot of a 15-year-old movie for you, but if you haven't caught it by now, odds are you were probably never going to. A little bit of extra damage from Maddie, picking up a swine, and nobody's really hurt. We're in fine shape, and this guy's not even going to go. Randolph Carter with a devastating 5-point critical there. 26 damage from the big guy.
This expedition at least
Picked up an extra holy water. The medicinal herbs, I think, probably have more value than an anti-venom. What are you? Plus 10 protect. We have one of those, and we already don't really use it. You know, I took those medicinal herbs, and I'm then going to immediately throw them on the floor. Again, the Highwayman's Buckle. It's saleable, so we can at least get rid of it in favor of something that has a little more monetary worth. So I think we head over here, and this is probably... I'm wishing I'd kept the barrel, actually. No need to test the waters there. We want everyone to have a very clean palate for when they come into the tasting portion of the Perfidious Manor Barbecue Pitmasters competition. We don't want them to have their flavor senses corrupted by spirituous beverages. You may only drink beer after the competition has been officially judged, and then imbibing copious quantities of Fungus brand beer from the Hag Witch will be strongly encouraged. But until such time, please, for the sake of the contest, keep your palates clean, folks. Keep your palates clean. I mean, a lot of our seekers here who are entering the competition this year are using beer as a strong ingredient. A lot of beer battered and beer flavored in marinades and whatnot, and they can't have you having conflicting flavors. It's just not cool. Keep a clean palate, that's what I'm saying. Alright, so yeah, this is gonna suck for those guys. Pretty good aggregate damage right there, more than 30. I think we'll go with a little Jacques Hughes. That's gonna take out our little pig friend and do some damage to this Swinitar champion, who I'd like to point out has a fucking remarkable amount of health. 123 health is quite a bit for anything other than a boss. It really is. Let's just pistol shot this guy. We can just stand here and pistol shot him all day. I don't really feel the need to dash forward and trade off damage here. The point blank shot probably not necessary. Little trot retreat. This is a stun, I think. I actually have no idea what that move does. We'll throw a debuff, which I think we actually may have already had him debuff, but if we did, its stack is minus 40 dodge. So this guy's getting hit. 21 damage critical is a little unfortunate. That was a melee attack, though, which, as we know, Half-Cock Jack now has significant penalties to. He's full-on ranged. He's gone. He's embraced the gun meta. And really, I think it's probably the wise decision. I mean, would you rather bring a gun to a knife fight or a knife to a gun fight? I know which one I would rather do. Always cheat when it comes to fighting. Always cheat. There's no cheating in war. It's not cheating. It's just called winning. And there we go. A 73 damage critical is going to end things for Johnny Swinitar. We'll get some of that stress back. A whole bunch of crests. Alright, so torches be damned. And this is our last room, so we don't need that holy water or these shovels. Probably don't need these, whatever. I don't really care. That's fine. Dungeon over. Do we want to do anything with this? You know, we may as well check it out. Now that I think about it, let's check it. The hero is deeply disturbed. 40 stress. Normally I would be a little upset about that, but as it stands, Randolph Carter was going to do some meditating after this mission anyway, so it's sort of a wash. Collected treasure. You know, we didn't make much cash. 5,400, that's a 18 grand total. I mean, we still turned a profit, of course, but, you know, most importantly, we hauled back the pork. So much pork, barrels and barrels of pork. And this time, when we store this pork, we're going to do it ourselves. We're not going to trust the friggin' caretaker, because that guy, he's a drunken lecher. He just can't be trusted. I'm telling you, he can't be trusted. A Blutomania is a bit of a problem, but we won't really worry about that. Stress relief, I would like to keep my top team in fighting fit. Clutch Hitter and Ruins Tactician are both really good, by the way. Clutch Hitter is fucking fantastic. So some strong pickups, and the negative quirk we picked up, not really a problem. And one more boss has fallen before our fine Seeker team there. They don't have a whole lot of foes left. They've pretty much swept the dungeon. What do we got left? We just have the Formless Fresh and the Brigand 16-pounder, which means all of the main bosses. Necromancer, Lord, Swine God, Hag, Witch. Check in, mate! Ladies and gentlemen of the enemy team, you have met your matches. 2 to go. 16-pounder, Formless Flesh, that's it. And I see that our A-team is back in action as well. Bruenor, Katniss, coming back. Ron Weasley is going to be real pleased about that. Ron's been feeling a little bit stressed lately. He hasn't had a chance to take out any of his Hogwarts aggression. So I know he'll be back and ready to take Katniss, Bruenor, and himself down into the dungeon to do a little bit of ass-kicking. One thing we still have to do quite a bit of, however, if you'll note, we need to get an Arbalist, a Bounty Hunter, a Grave Robber, a Hellion, a Jester, a Leper, and a Man-at-Arms, as well as Susan McAllister, all to resolve rank 6. Now, we are close with Brienne of Tarth, so we have, and Deckard as well, so we're got 2 that are creeping up on it, 2 more slots, but we still got quite a bit of work to do with regard to a Jester, the Grave Robber, the Leper, of course, our Man-at-Arms, our Arbalest, and Susan McAllister. So, still plenty of dungeon left to do if we want to achieve every goal, and of course, also, as I'm recording this, I'd like to say, 2 days until the new update, The Corpse and the Hound, comes out, which adds not only a new character class, the Houndmaster, it also is going to add, I believe, a full new dungeon, which should be quite exciting, so we may have some new bosses on the table in the very near future. But I think what we'll do right now, let's get some much-needed stress relief for the team here. They got a little bit worrisome down in that dungeon. So we can have Randolph do meditation is fine. You know what? Let's actually, will he pray? That's, as an occultist, that probably seems not fantastic. Let's have him meditate. Roderick Usher, I believe, yeah, he started as God-fearing, is still God-fearing. He will only pray, which is fine. We can have him do so. Maddie, do you have anything? You just can't gamble. Well, why don't you go think about what you did, young lady? Nice little timeout for you in the cloister. You can think about what you've done and why they won't let you gamble anymore, because cheating is not good for you, Madeline Usher. Half-cock Jack can do anything but meditate. Well, if he can't meditate, let's give him another form of meditation that involves drinking some booze, so a little bit of drinking for Half-cock Jack. Half-cock Jack, of course, by the way, a banned from the official Perfidious Estate Barbecue Pitmasters competition. He is not allowed to participate as a judge because in the last competition, took a bribe. Yep, he sure did. Let himself be bribed in a poor barbecue competition because the man has no scruples and no morals. I mean, it almost swung it in favor of Brienne of Tarth, but when the rest of the judges found out that the bribe and the fix was in, they immediately revoked Brienne's title and rewarded it to Roderick Usher, as it should have been, because even Half-cock Jack was forced to admit Roderick's dish was supreme. And that's why he's the pitmaster extraordinaire. So, we can look forward to a little bit of barbecue. I'm going to look forward to wrapping things up. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, feel free to drop a like down in the comment section. Your support really does mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to see more Darkest Dungeon, we post new episodes 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Consider subscribing as well. Right now, however, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.